All right, so last we talked, we were working on a defer for the scrolls and went ahead with basically that exact design, and I have it working. I'm in the process still of converting the markdown parser to use it. Always some details to track down, a few things that are left under implemented. But you know, it seems to be working. I think the strategy is going to pay off. I'm going to take a second to work on sessions again, the back end thereof. So we updated the database representation to something that can be reflowed. And the original version of that sort of naively used the field categories that we were using to recreate tokens, and that was very profligate in its use of the database. It just blew up the size of results quite a bit. So we replaced that with a compressed version. And now the sessions check against the raw database representation to see if something is still the same result as it was before. And that's basically the right strategy. We want to be able to do some more sophisticated diffing, but you know, that can tell the difference between a string number and a number, because we don't quote them in quite the same way. We use color. You know, in an abstract sense, we can modify that use for screen readers and colorblind and that sort of thing. So when I say color, don't read too much into it. So long story short, when we switched over to the compressed database representation, all of my sessions broke everywhere. And the compressed form actually stores more information, so it's not really possible to go in and compress all of the results that were used. So now is a good time to, just kind of brush up how sessions are being done a little bit. It has the bootstrap nature, and in the process, add a function which allows us to accept the new results of a given session. And that's going to be, there will be several steps involved in that. Since I need to be able to list sessions along with some numbers so that you don't have to type in the full name of a session every one at a time in order to shift them all over. And then if we're going to have lists of numbers, then I'm going to need to be able to parse lists of numbers and so on and so forth. So that will be fun for a while, and we'll end up with more session functionality on the command line, which should play nicely with the work that Daniel is doing to allow us to review and modify sessions inside of Helm. So that's that. Oh, and I wrote a TOML parser. Yeah, TOML parser. Under-tested, but it was a pleasure, really, translating it from the ABNF, and got, you know, pretty far with it. It parses some simple test cases already, and I need to sort of brush up our date parser so that really works with it. But yeah, in general, looking pretty nice. I'm intending to use TOML for the manifest files rather than define some kind of custom subset of orb lists that doesn't cooperate with anybody's code but my own, and so on and so forth. TOML is a good match to Lua semantics, and straightforward, easy to write, easy to read, and yeah, at some point we'll want manifest.orb files instead of manifest.toml, but why not put the TOML in orb blocks, or put the TOML in orb blocks. There's the intention right there.